It's May 18th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today. In this show, we're going to talk about the financial triple crown and how strategy is winning at every single level. We're going to talk about Bitcoin's accumulation, specifically MSTR's Bitcoin accumulation, because it's been quite impressive. Also, a bullish chart is forming. We're going to be showing you some details on that. Also, a deep dive on the MNAV discussion, ATM, etc. You're not going to want to miss that. Plus, some epic videos from Michael Saylor. And this video is not financial advice, but please do like this video if you appreciate the work. Please comment below if you want to support the channel. And let's dive on in. Okay, today's first post is from Michael Saylor, who simply says, "We need to talk about your future." Imagine approaching that table. What do you think this gentleman wants to talk about? Probably something along the lines of never sell your Bitcoin. Michael Saylor also wants us to know that MSTR is winning the financial triple crown. First place this quarter, first place this year, first place since adopting the Bitcoin standard. Our strategy works because it's built on Bitcoin. I mean, my friends, what else do you want? What other charts can we share here? I mean, it's just looking fantastic. 3-month return. Here's the 1-year return. And then here's the Bitcoin since the evolution or the Bitcoin standard era, BSE, Bitcoin standard era. That's when MSTR adopted Bitcoin back in August of 2020, up 3,134 beautiful percentile. Strategy's been buying $2 billion of Bitcoin a month for the last 5 months. Just think about that. And that's the bottom. It's more than 2 Bitcoin a month for the last 5 months. For context, the most it ever bought in a single year before 2024 was 2.6 billion. And now they're doing that every single month. At a minimum, something clicked in the markets on November of 2024, and MSTR has been buying Bitcoin like crazy ever since. And I am glad that I've been part of this entire ride. So let's keep this train rolling. All right, here's Adam Livingston who says, "This is gradualist hypermonetization that I discussed, where the hardest money in human history is being transferred permanently from the time poor to the capital rich. For those who don't understand what they hold, to those who understand exactly what they're doing, never sell your Bitcoin, because the next buyer might not be another retail trader. It might be BlackRock, it might be Fidelity, it might be Strategy. And once they have it, you will never get it back." And this is from Bitcoin Magazine, a little graphic showing the inflows, the ETFs of US Bitcoin and the Bitcoin bought and sold over this era. You can see there's 3 down months, and 2 of them were micro. One pretty decent one in February. Of course, that was that big drawdown we had. But for the most part, look at what we have. And we're only, about halfway through May, and we're already at 26,000 Bitcoin bots. Watch out above. And speaking of that, Bitcoin Archive has a great chart of Bitcoin has had only one higher weekly close than the current price. 109,000 was a mere whisker of a wick. Like, that was just a flip up. So 109 is technically the all-time high, but there's only been one close that's been higher than the current price. This is very bullish to be holding steady at these rare levels. So you can see, back early in 2025, there was a wick right above 103 for a weekly close. And now we're back there. So now we're back. So this is a very bullish chart, in my opinion, as many others. We'll see what happens next. Okay, this is quite the thread, so we're going to kind of go through this. But if you want to go through it more at your leisure at a slower pace, I will be posting this thread in my show notes below. So the MicroStrategy says, should MicroStrategy let MNAV fly or keep hammering the ATM? A thread on Bitcoin yield, leverage, and how MSTR's next funding move will define its future. And boom, here is the multiple of net asset value. For those of us that were here for that one, that was kind of an exciting time. Now we're back down to the 2.1, but very much in a range to run again. Okay. Strategy has been aggressively stacking sats for 4 years and has a clear lead above the competition, at least in terms of current BTC. But now investors are asking, should they pause ATM share sales to let the MNAV, the market cap, and the BTC NAV pump higher? So this is a great chart showing where the other companies are at. And of course, this is logarithmic. It's so much of a further distance than it looks because, from here to here is 900,000 Bitcoin. And from here to here is only 9,000 Bitcoin. Or 9,000 Bitcoin from here to here. And here to here is only 90,000 Bitcoin. So number 2, higher MNAV equals a premium to Bitcoin holdings. A higher MNAV equals higher price. It looks great on paper, especially for short-term options traders, but there's a catch. 3, the Bitcoin yield is greater than MNAV. Bitcoin yield is how much more Bitcoin each MSTR share represents over time. It's the real KPI that matters for long-term value creation. Again, Bitcoin yield. MicroStrategy's Bitcoin yield will hit 74% in 2024, or it hit 74% in 2024, and they're on track to repeat it again in 2025. How? Through the clever use of convertibles, perpetual preferreds, which is Strike and Strife, and yes, the ATM. And here you go with the past, and then here is the projected. 5, running the ATM at anything above an MNAV of 1.0 would still be accretive, but they don't use it if the MNAV drops below 2. A higher MNAV is more attractive, but not by much. And waiting till the MNAV drifted higher would slow the BTC yields. And this shows you the BTC yield curve at different MNAV levels. You can see how it slows. 6, the problem, Strike and Strife still lack volume. Convertibles require volatility. And right now, volatility is too low to issue new convertible bonds with juicy premiums. So that's why you have not been seeing them issue convertible bonds. 7, so should they back off the ATM to let the stock fly or keep harvesting fiat to compound Bitcoin per share? This table outlines the process the strategy is likely using to guide its decisions to maximize long-term MSTR share price over the long term. And again, you can go through this at your leisure, but essentially they're going through their debt within target, high debt plus low volatility, and high debt plus low debt plus low volatility. And then the rationale behind all of these things. So here's the trade-offs in plain terms. Pause the ATM. It boosts the short-term share price and keeps the short-term holders happy. Keep using ATM. Maximize long-term Bitcoin yield and long-term MSTR value. Which would you choose? Number 9, our take. Letting MNAV rise feels good, but compounding BTC per share is the strategy, especially before Bitcoin rips and there's none left to buy. Without Bitcoin yield, MSTR is just another Bitcoin ETF, and plenty of up-and-coming Bitcoin leverage companies are stacking hard. 10, what do you think? Should Saylor back off the ATM or lean in while Bitcoin is relatively cheap? So this is the situation where, in my opinion, whenever you see people that are complaining about the ATM, most of those individuals are not common shareholders, because common shareholders, at least the smart ones, again, in my opinion, understand that this is a long-term game. We're focused on hitting the ATM, stacking more Bitcoin. We want more Bitcoin. We want more Bitcoin. We want the Bitcoin yield to go up. We want the Bitcoin gain to go up. And that Bitcoin yield is such an important metric. And again, that Bitcoin torque is what Saylor uses to really maximize that. Now, with the ATM being hit, of course, that is going to dampen the share price because it is accretive dilution. And so the people that are complaining, in my opinion, are the options traders who have short-term options expiring and they're just wanting the stock to pump. So they are just incentivized for short-term gains. Michael Saylor has said this many times before. He is only, and I repeat, only working for us, the MSTR shareholders, those that own the equity. He's not working for the options. He's not working for anybody else. He says he is only working to maximize the MSTR share price. And believe me, that Michael Saylor and the team at Strategy believe that they are doing that. Now, I'm not saying they are doing that because only time will tell. I believe they're doing that, and they believe they're doing that. Time will prove if they are correct. So I love the ATM. I will continue to fight a crusade against the ATM whiners because I just believe they don't understand. And they're honestly, again, they're playing a different game. They're unlikely shareholders, or at least their main focus is on some options trade that they have expiring at the end of this day, this week, this month, etc. So that's my opinion on that. We have a couple great videos coming up of Michael Saylor, so take it away.
Well, what happens if it stops going up? It's like, well, what happens if water stops flowing downhill? What happens if time goes backwards, right? What happens if the law of thermodynamics no longer holds? What happens when people decide they want less secure things rather than more secure things? What happens when they want crappy stuff instead of good stuff, right? It's not going to happen, right? There's a natural progression here, which is intelligent people are moving their money from a more disordered state to a less disordered state, from a shorter life expectancy container to a longer life expectancy container. They're moving from an unsafe place to a safer place. And if you just want Bitcoin to be successful, when you hear the Bank of Shanghai is rolling out a Bitcoin ETF custody of the Bank of Shanghai, you would say, that's great. That's going to give access to Bitcoin to 1.5 billion people in China. Okay. And they're going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is going to go up to $10 million coin. So here's the question. Do you want the billion people in China to be rich? And do you want to be rich while the Chinese government still has a bunch of laws that you may or may not agree with? Or do you want the people in China to be poor and you to be poor while the Chinese government has a set of laws that you don't agree with?
Pretty easy.
Or do you think that you're so great, you're Superman, that you can just go and topple the entire government by barking on Twitter? It's like, I just don't think, right, that you're going to topple, an entire sovereign nation with your ideologies.
All right, we've got another epic Michael Saylor clip when we get back from thanking our sponsors. So check it out. I know we're all looking to stack more Bitcoin and MSTR, and to do that, we need more fiat. So let's chat about our sponsor, ShipStation. We all know the market can seem pretty chaotic at times, but if you're in charge of order fulfillment for your business, you already understand chaos. While we might not be able to help calm the chaos in the market, ShipStation is here to help when it comes to shipping and fulfillment. I've used ShipStation to easily automate shipping to customers around the globe. My favorite part about the platform, managing orders in one simple dashboard makes an otherwise massive task feel pretty darn simple. Plus, ShipStation not only integrates with the services and selling channels you already use, it's also the fastest, most affordable way to ship products to your customers. ShipStation hooks you up with discounts up to 88% off UPS, DHL Express, and USPS rates, and up to 90% off FedEx rates. Calm the chaos of order fulfillment with the shipping software that delivers. Switch to ShipStation today. Go to shipstation.com/MSTR to sign up for your free trial, or click the pinned comment below this video. That's shipstation.com/MSTR. And thank you for supporting our sponsors that allow myself and my team to continue to produce these daily videos for you for free. Now back to the show. Online shopping has never been easier, but this ease is new enough that we remember a time when entering all our credit card info every time we purchased something online was the norm. Luckily, we don't have to do that anymore thanks to Shopify. That's right, that purple Shop Pay button that makes it seamless to purchase online is powered by Shopify. And Shopify doesn't just make it easy to buy, it makes it incredibly easy to start a business, no matter your experience. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and they make it super easy to get up and running with beautiful, ready-to-go templates and built-in marketing and email tools. Worried about tracking inventory, payments, and analytics? No stress. Shopify helps you manage it all from a single dashboard. And back to that iconic purple Shop Pay button, it's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/MSTR. Go to shopify.com/MSTR, shopify.com/MSTR.
But the long-term reaction is, if I had all my money invested in Bitcoin instead of invested in that company, I wouldn't have been affected by tariffs. And so what you have is a reallocation of portfolios to being more Bitcoin, less the other thing. People are thinking now, if I had more Bitcoin, less gold, I would have made a lot more money in the last 4 years. If I had more Bitcoin, less big tech, I would have made a lot more money. If I had more Bitcoin and less that bond instrument, I would have done better. So these are teaching moments, right? And in any macro panic, the most liquid, leverageable asset is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only thing that you can sell. You can sell it short with 50x leverage on Saturday morning. It's the only thing that you can short 50x on Saturday morning. So when people panic on a weekend or an evening, it's going to be volatile. And if someone wants to sell some financial asset because of some gloom and doom thing that's happened, they're going to go to Bitcoin first because it's the only thing they can trade. And then not just trade in the US, trade globally, worldwide. And so it is volatile because it is useful, and it will be in times of panic and contraction. It will correlate for a short moment with other assets, but then it will bounce back and it will break. It'll break that correlation, decouple, and it'll rally higher. And that has happened, consistently for the past 15 years, and it's happening right now as we watch it. So I'm calm in these times because I think we're going to win over a new set of Bitcoin believers, and a new set of people that thought they had the perfect business are going to realize that no investment in real estate, in private equity, in public equity, or in a currency derivative is a risk-free investment. And when we say, look, Bitcoin is not a currency derivative, it is not a company, it is not real estate, it doesn't have a supply chain, it has no employees, it has no nexus, it is not, subject to that counterparty risk. Now there'll be a class of investors that will understand what it means to be exposed to those risks, and they'll be like, oh, you mean like no tariffs on Bitcoin? Yeah, no tariffs on Bitcoin.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR Today. And here we are, another Sunday, and that means it's DCA portfolio reveal. And as you can see, let's kind of go through the high-level stats. My average cost per share is $321. That is from me buying $210 of MSTR every single trading day of 2025. The last price was $399.8. So my total cost is just under $20,000. The market value is $24,739. So my total gain so far, percentage-wise, this is unrealized, of course, because I'm never selling, is 24.21%. And my total gain unrealized is $4,822. So that's what the portfolio looks like. As you can see, I added in last week's right here, and some of those positions are down, but almost the entirety of, the rest of my portfolio is well in the green. So we'll see what happens this coming week. But so far, I'll take a 24.21% gain since January 2nd, which was the first trading day of 2025. So remember, when the FUD comes in, think of this portfolio. When the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, just realize that staying the course, having a strategy. Michael Saylor is not looking 6 months out, 1 year out. He's looking 5 years, 10 years, 40 years out. He has a 21-year price prediction of Bitcoin of 13 million. That's not short-term thinking. I'm not thinking short-term, and I hope you're not either. Let me know in the comments below if you're thinking short-term or long-term. I'm just curious if you're a short-term thinker or a long-term thinker. So let me know in the comments below. Please hit that like button. It really means a lot. And like Michael Saylor says, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.